Women in Relationships Crash Course by Alexandra Branzuela. Each morning we start the day off with prayer, which automatically starts the class in an uplifting mood. It is important to take time each day to talk to God and take time to relax and settle. We also do many forms of meditation, which starts us off right for the school day. Based off the book Ophelia Speaks, we presented on the topics of friends, family, brokenness, mind, wounds, strength, body image, relationships 1 and relationships 2. Friends and family. So good friends are a necessity. The definition of friendship is the emotion or conduct of friends and the state of being friends. And a friend is a person who one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection with. We also learn how to tell good friends versus bad friends, and a healthy relationship leads to a healthy life. We also learn you can resolve conflict by putting yourself in the other person's shoes. For family, we learn that the relationship with your parents affects how you grow up, and living in a single-parent household leads to consequences for the child in the future, according to most statistics, although not all, and siblings have one of the greatest effects on the child because they have a more open and honest relationship. For the topics of brokenness in mind, for brokenness we covered divorce, abandonment, abuse and neglect, which included incest, violence, and parental neglection, and substance abuse, and death in family. For the mind is a set of cognitive faculties that enables consciousness, perception, thinking, and judgment. The inner critic, the worrier, the reactor, the troublemaker, and the sleep depriver are all part of the mind, and we also covered academic integrity, which is being honest, and stress management and depression, which all relate to how the mind works. For strength, we talked about prejudice, cultural identity, interracial couples, relationships, faith, which is role in life, religion versus spirituality, and feminism. For body image, we learned about how media images affects a person's own body image and how they think of themselves, which can lead to eating disorders and connections to self-esteem. We learned about self-inflicted wounds and self-mutilation, and also suicide and drugs and alcohol and sexual violence, which relates to rape and sexual abuse. For the topic of relationships to one, it included crushes, fantasy, sexual orientation, gender identity, and cultural messages regarding sex. For relationships 2, they talked about gender roles and dating violence and manipulation and control and betrayal and first love. Basically, these topics covered how when you meet a person, they may be different than what you expect. Something we covered in this class was also discernment, which is the perception and the absence of judgment with a view of obtaining spiritual direction and understanding, and this basically determines your future. And because we are juniors in high school, we did start to talk about adult life, which are the responsibilities that come after college. We talked about budget management, finance, and life on your own, basically how to spend your money without living with your parents. The sexuality unit of this class basically taught us how to make smarter decisions and about gynecology, how to avoid STIs and pregnancy, and basically like contraceptions. And the natural form of contraception is natural family planning, which is allowed by the Catholic Church. Some of the speakers that were kind enough to come to our class included Aaron Baduke, who spoke about abusive relationships, Miss VK, who spoke about birth control, Kim Clark, who spoke about sexuality and Wellness Week, led by Mrs. Ewell, and Belle Etin, who spoke about decisions. And most impactful to me was Aaron Baduke, because she talked about how her relationship seemed picture perfect at first, but it slowly uncovered to an abusive one, and she taught us to not be embarrassed to report your situation or to tell someone. And I also enjoyed Wellness Week because it made us take time for ourselves to relax, especially at this hectic time of the year. And Bellatin, who talked about um, the decisions you make always have consequences. In Wellness Week, we learned in order to have good relationships, one must take time to center and appreciate themselves. And my favorite was the cube meditation and the go to people activity, which helped you find who you can talk to in times of need. Thank you for watching.